Hey guys, this is Dave back at the Pipe is Right. Good morning to you. It's morning here for 18 more minutes here in Seattle. Smoking the ugly little bulldog that I have. The stain is all wrong on this. On one side it's like an orangey color and on the other it's like red. So, whatever. Today I'm smoking Boswell's Best. I don't know if I'd say it's their best, but it's pretty damn good. My friend and I are fasting, as I stated in my last video, and we text each other all day about being hungry and praying. Okay, so I know this is going to be a long video, and I want to keep it as short as I can. I've got a lot of thoughts today. First thought is happy endings. How important are they to you in literature and in movies? Maybe just story in general. I'll leave happy ending up to you guys to some extent. I will say that I don't simply mean bad guy comes, hurts people, good guy comes, fights bad guy, beats bad guy, runs off with girl to sunset. I mean, that's not just the motif that I'm talking about. A happy ending can have tragedy, and yet still promote a good message, or can make the sacrifice of a hero, even with his life, mean something. So, to me, it's very important for me in story. It means a lot to me. I don't, again, I don't simply mean something cheesy or what have you. But, for example, just an example. I don't watch meat grinder flicks. I'm kind of morally opposed to watching horror movies where the main point is to horribly mutilate human flesh. For our entertainment. I mean, I just don't get that. So, I'll give you an example. I was watching a movie the other day, just yesterday actually, where the hero of the story is chasing this girl who's jumping between him and the antagonist. She's going back and forth, and she can't decide, and she treats the hero like crap. And in the end, she chooses to abandon the hero, and yet the hero continued to go after her. And this is after like 5 or 6 rejections already. And she's kind of emotionally schizophrenic, so she doesn't really have a good understanding of who she is and what she wants and what have you. But at the end, she basically says, "Well, no, I think you suck," essentially. And so the hero goes after her one last time, and because he chases her, he gets brutally murdered. And, that's the end of the story. And there wasn't, even though it was tragic, there wasn't even a theme of, how noble it is, for example, to go after somebody even when they reject you. There was nothing like that. I mean, there was no conversation about that, no discerning that whatsoever in the movie. The guy was just really liked the girl, and her rejection of him cost him his life for no reason. So, for me, that's not a happy ending. For me, it didn't even utilize the tragedy of his death to teach us something about humanity and about life. So, happy endings, really important to me. What about you? I'll leave some of those definitions up to you, and if you have to clarify, that'd be fine. Now, talking about death, the death of a hero, death has been on my mind the last couple of days. Sorry about the loudness of the airplane. I'll just tell you two stories. The other day I was on my way to school, and I was sitting in traffic, and I was on the outside row, so I was right next to where oncoming traffic was going by, and oncoming traffic and me were in my lane. We're all sitting as perpendicular traffic was going through the light. And as I'm sitting there, a female seagull flies herself down and lands in the middle of the road on the other side. And she just is looking at us and at the traffic that isn't coming yet. And then, for that side of the street, the traffic begins to come. Not quickly. Steadily. I mean, if at the very last second you wouldn't have been able to dodge out of the way, but certainly you would have been able to see traffic, and she was facing traffic. And she could have, flown away much, much faster. I mean, easily, with ease, is what I mean to say. I mean, instead she just sits there in the middle of the road and watches traffic come at a steady pace right at her. And at the very last second, she spreads her wings, and she's clobbered. She is hit. And then ran over and over. And when she hit, there was just this sickening crunch and snapping bones, and it really disturbed me. It's much like our own situations that we see death steadily coming at us. And there's no avoiding it, even not even at the last second. It was pointless for her. I mean, she saw it. She had the ability to escape, and she did it. And then at the last second, she's an animal. Obviously, I'm not trying to anthropomorphize her and put human thoughts in her head, and why didn't she do this? But it just related to me for some reason. I mean, this is the story of our journey here. We are going to die. We won't avoid it. For a lot of us, it's going to be horrible. Second, little story. It's the other day I'm in a pipe shop, and I'm talking to the owner or runner of the pipe shop or something like that, and he was talking to me about his girlfriend and whatever, and then for some reason, it's a long conversation, so I'll just cut to the chase. We get to the conversation about death and what you would die for. People die for things every day. People die for freedom, and they die for other types of causes. And so I asked him, what would you die for? And I appreciate his honesty, but I was kind of blown away. He tells me, well, nothing. I mean, I find that interesting because we were just talking about his girlfriend. He wouldn't even die for her. He tells me nothing. I said, really? He said, yeah. No, nothing. So, knowing that death is coming, what would you die prematurely for? What cause? What person, if any? What would you die for? And I would throw out there to you to consider the fact that time is the currency of life, and we will spend that currency on things every day. Hobbies and people and activities, relationships. And so I would advise you that you're dying for something every day, whether or not you know it. If you think smoking a pipe is worthwhile, to some extent you're dying for that, because you're spending time doing it. Long video. I'm sorry, I have a tendency to do that. I have to chalk out my thoughts before I have them synthesized. 2 questions. Happy endings, how important are they? And what would you die for? What would you die prematurely for? Do a video response. Get creative. Let me know something. Even if it's just a couple of minutes. Have a great rest of your day.